Hey guys, Carla Customs here, back again with another showcase video. This time I have Ares, Wonder Woman, and Steve Trevor for the new movie Wonder Woman. And this is going to be the first standalone movie in the DC Extended Universe in about 4 years. So hopefully they can improve on their storytelling of one character alone. And hopefully this will, be cool because we could use a hit in the Marvel, sorry, I almost said Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hopefully we could get a hit with the DC Extended Universe because even though I enjoyed Suicide Squad, like every single DCEU movie has gotten bad raps, and every one of them splat on Rotten Tomatoes. So hopefully this movie can change that around. It looks really good, and I've heard a few good things about it. So that's something to look forward to, that there's hope for the DC Extended Universe. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so here I have my new version of Wonder Woman, and if you saw my BVS Wonder Woman, you knew that I had to get a redemption at doing her, so we're gonna waste no time and get straight into the minifigure. So to start off, I gave her a sword from Brick Arms or Brick Forge, I don't know, one of those two vendors for sure, and then I just cut off the hilt and added this little sculpted hilt with a little circle indentation on either side. So I thought that was a little fun thing to point out, and also this is the official Lego shield. And other than that, that's like all for accessories, and now we can get to the main figure. So the figure here was made like completely using all these sorts of cloth, like 3D elements, which I'm really glad came out looking nice and neat and cool. And overall making this figure look like a cool display piece. So to start off with her boots, like I always do, so obviously they started off as like it started off in like a section of these like silver red areas, and then it came to a lot of outlining, and I also had to scrape off a lot of excess paint, and also it came to like adding gold elements and also some skin to pop through, like here, and here. And I should mention that all of these like designs were copied onto each side of the leg 4 times. So all these different skin like showing areas had to be copied 4 times, and I almost got them all right. Some of them you can see are kind of not that similar. Well, they are similar, but like you can see like the offness of like a few of them. Offness, is that a word? I don't know. But I think it still came out looking great, and it still came out to looking like a fine figure. And then also, we might as well just head up to the middle of her torso, and that leads to her waist cape. And her waist cape was put together through a few layers of like a cape that was cut together. It's not actually a waist piece. You can see that what I used to put her together. So to start off, where I put a stripe of cloth across like the fronts of either side of the waist piece. So we just put one stripe here, and then one stripe here, and that also led to the loincloth hanging off, like here and here, and that was layer 2, and also these other layers here were added on afterwards. So these little pieces of cloth, they attach from here to here on either side. And also, you can already notice it, but there's her lasso of truth used by this like light golden like thread color, and also to keep it in place, I have this little cloth piece that's supposed to like be used as a little holster. So that's pretty cool. I thought I'd point that out. And these are her official arms for the Lego set, but also obviously painted over a little bit and like extended to all four, like the whole entire side of the arm. And also it leads to our last little cool detail about the figure, and that's her 3D strap from brown fabric, and that leads to the side here, and it wraps around the side here, and it ends off here at the end of the minifigure. And I know this kind of looks funny, and that's because I have no plans on ever like having her hairless, because I doubt she's ever gonna go bald or have a second face on the back of her face. So, I just don't really have any intentions for the back of her face, except for when I have to switch it out if I want to give her a different facial expression, which is a pretty cool benefit for making a figure off of like double-sided face. So yeah, that is Wonder Woman. Hope you guys enjoyed this figure as much as I did making this. So without further ado, let's move on to our next minifigure in the showcase. Alright, so here we have Steve Trevor here. Also a pretty simple figure to put together, if I do say so myself, once again. So to make him, you can see basically what I used to make him. So to start off, I gave him these like olive greenish colored arms. There's a few different tints of other like green colors in there, and also the tops of the sleeves were painted black to show the continuation of his gloves. And on his glove hand to the right, you can see he has his shotgun, which is a brick arm shotgun painted in brown at the pump right there, and also at the back here. So getting that out of the way, we can take off his coat, and I can show you guys a little something more about him. So here's a better look at the main figure. You can see right there, I just used a brown, I guess you could say, like a brown torso, I mean. So, yeah, and then after that I added wrinkles to the top of his coat, into his, like, inner coat, because this coat is made out of such rugged material that it's really, like, hard for this stuff to not scratch off, so I had to seal it. And you can see his exposed white shirt under there, and you can see his white shirt on his neck right there with a few, like, little lines to show that, you know, it's, like, thick cloth. And it also leads to his dark green legs with his, like, green socks, I guess you could call them. And also that leads to his beige boots. And yeah. And they're all outlined with this, like, lime green color, which I really like. I like how it came out. It was just a really cool figure to make, and it came out looking awesome. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching this segment. And without further ado, let's wrap this thing up with our final minifigure. Alright, so here we have Ares here, the man of destruction himself, the god of war. And fun fact, this guy was based 100% off of a toy. So this could all be for nothing if this guy turns out to be inaccurate. But, you know, just hopefully that toy wasn't inaccurate. So that's what I'm hoping on here for. So yeah, so to start off with the minifigure here we go with his legs. His legs were extended using, like cutting off like the front of them and adding a stud on top. And then also I had to put green stuff on the front of them to smoothen them out, and then I had to sand them. And you know, it's the whole ordeal. There's a show link to, there's like a tutorial video by a certain YouTuber who I can't name of right now who did it. But yeah. And that also leads to his sculpted on knee pads right there. And underneath his loincloth, you can see a few lines that are supposed to represent the rope holding his, I guess you could say, waist guards or something. I don't know what they are. Just these things right here. And those were also fully sculpted and painted by me. And they were not fun to do, because this whole entire guy wasn't fun to do, as you can imagine. His arms were extended, and then they were sculpted over. So that's how he got his gauntlets there, and they really hold the thing in place, sorta. And this also leads up to his sword, which is like a brick forge or brick arm sword, and I painted it in this dark silver, and then I used a few of these like dark oranges and red colors to really show that glowing effect, because his sword is like glowing red in the movie, apparently. But that's all I can really say about it, because I haven't seen the movie, obviously. And this leads to his shield, which is just a regular Lego shield, but this part was sculpted and painted in the necessary colors that you see before you. And here are the gold bolts that are all around it. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory, you know, just a shield. Sorry, get the shield out of the way. And here we have the core minifigure right here in its glory. So, yeah. So let's move up closer with this, guys. So, his head. His head was actually pretty interesting to make because it's 100% sculpted, no base layer, no nothing. So I sculpted this guy in layers. Like it started off with a layer of like a dome around his head, and then these little prong like jaw pieces came out, and then the top of his head started to come along, and then I had to paint this line that's going on the top of his head. I mean sculpt that, so that's sculpted, my bad. And then sculpt on the horns, and then I also had to lay down a layer of green stuff to also add on his toothpick teeth. So yeah, it's really interesting making the head, and it took forever to make, but thankfully he's sturdy, and it came out looking pretty cool and accurate and neat. And you can maybe able to see his red eyes under there. Maybe I'll just take them off so you get a better look. So there you go. And it also leads to his little cape. His cape's pretty much nothing. Get him out of the way. And that leads to his shoulder pads, which are also sculpted shoulder piece, which are glued in place, well, almost, because they're connected to this rope piece holding some sort of bullets, I guess. I mean, since when does the God of War have bullets, or a gun for that matter? I don't know. So yeah, why he has this, I have no clue. Don't ask me. I don't know anything about like the lore of like mythical gods that much, because school has failed me, or maybe I failed it. I don't know. And so that also leads to the back of this minifigure, the final part, the piece of resistance, his back, which is basically a kind of small layer of clay painted in the necessary black and dry brush silver, the same the front of the minifigure got. It also leads to a few back outlines with a few silver lines, and the end of his sculpted belt, which I did not mention was on the front of his torso too. So yeah, so that is it, guys, for my showcase. I thoroughly hope you guys enjoyed, because these figures did take a long time to make, and honestly they took even longer to make, especially with this sculpted guy right here. And yeah, hopefully I can get this video up before I leave, which I'm kind of stressing about, which is probably why I talk kind of fast through a lot of these segments, but it was all worth it in the end. So yeah, without further ado, let's wrap this entire thing up. So I thoroughly hope you guys enjoyed this showcase video. If you have, please leave a like below, because it really goes a long way. It really helps my motivation for making more custom minifigures rising, and I could really use that as of lately, because these guys were pretty stressful to make, and plus it's also going to be pretty stressful to make those Spider-Man Homecoming figures next month. So yeah, leave a like, it really helps me stay motivated. And then please make sure you share and subscribe while you're at it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then please follow me on Instagram and VidMe and Twitter, because I'm trying to be more active with that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. And yeah, goodbye.